Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gathering Conversations podcast. It is Friday, December 20th, and we are getting ready to do episode number 12. Excited about a family that's going to give their testimony in the near future, and I've mentioned it a couple times before already, the Terry and Kelly Bergen, but they honestly, we just got too busy, and we have not been able to get that interview done before Christmas. So that will be our first testimony after Christmas. But I have been working hard at some others. And so Jonathan Goforth, a fine young man, he has a great story. We'll be sharing his testimony. We'll try and get that done and in by next week. So next Friday, we'll look forward to talking to Jonathan. Fine young man that lives in the area where I live. And then for the rest of the year, it's almost Christmas time, so everybody's rushing around. We're getting ready for that. We want to make sure that also next year we do a few more of these kids. If you notice on the one page where you click on kids conversations, or there's some videos that some kids have put together there, and so we're working on some more of those, and we're looking forward to what's coming in the new year. Once again, for today, we're going to continue the series that we're working through, really on the condition of the church and the position of the church today and some of the things that are happening in our Christian world. And today is a very interesting conversation around decision-making and communication. And the long and the short, the real gist of this is, and I think it's important to just point the bullet point out that's not as obvious as the conversation. The conversation is very good. And if we get a little dicey, it's a pretty fun conversation. But the point is this, and there's really two of them. One is the more people you involve in a decision, the better the decision will be every time. That's a first principle. It's verifiable, scientific, if you will. The beautiful thing about that is it's so biblical. God's Word supports it. In a multitude of counsel, there is safety. And the Bible does talk about wise counsel. We absolutely do wise counsel. But if we are Christians, every single one of us has the Holy Spirit in it. And if we want to get more of the Holy Spirit, which so oftentimes I feel like that's what people are trying to do, well, then involve more people, multitude of people, there is safety. And so it's an interesting conversation about how decisions should get made. And then the second piece that's so very important is you can actually measure that. And I think there's some things in our churches today that probably need improved on. I hope we can start a revival in this nation. Everyone should be praying for that. But you can measure it. You can measure, and you'll see in this conversation, we actually measure the quality of our decision and how much it improves. So you'll see and note that our decision we made individually was one, and then we improved our decision by 65% when we came together as a multitude of counsel. And so that's really the point there, and we'll dig farther into that with the purposing behind all of that, but it's a great conversation, so let's get started.
Let's dive into the Gathering Conversations podcast. We're here to have genuine conversations about understanding what it means to be a Christian and how to live a truthful life that pleases Him. Our goal is to equip others to share the teachings of Christ with others. So, let's jump into today's conversation.
In episode 5, we will go through a lively exercise having to do with decision making and confrontation. The first principle conversation here is that the more people you involve in a decision, the better the decision will be. This can be supported in Proverbs 11:14, where no counsel is that people fall, but in a multitude of counsel there is safety. There are many other places throughout the Bible where this can be shown. That is some of the challenge in the conversation today that you are listening to. There are times we should all speak up, be heard, and contribute to the decision. Why are we so afraid of confrontation? God is in control. When they formed the New Testament church, education consisted of rhetoric, music, math. All people were musicians in some way or another and could read music. All could face conflict daily. When they met and were in a class down at the city gate, they understood rhetoric. They knew how to face conflict and understood the value that comes from it. And math was a true science, very provable when in a math equation.
We're going to take a test. You guys good at tests? This is a pass-fail.
It's just
No, it's not. It's not pass-fail. It's fun. There is an answer sheet that if you rip the pages in the half in the middle, you'll see the answers. Do not do that. All right, so I'll read it and then you'll answer the questions because it's as convoluted and confusing as absolutely possibly could be. It is 11:45 a.m. August 8th. Your group, dressed in casual summer clothing, is standing together somewhere in Sonoya Desert in southeast United States. You're looking at the charred airframe of a light twin-engine plane you and your were riding 20 minutes ago. The wreck contains the bodies of the pilots and the co-pilot. Although your group is shaken in shock, no one is seriously hurt. With the exception of the last 4.5 hours, it had been a beautiful day. Is that right? 4.5 hour?
Just a half hour.
Half hour, excuse me. Sorry, I get wound up. Taking off from, what are you guys? I've talked too much.
Acapulco.
Yeah. Acapulco. Keep going, Chip.
Okay.
Hayden, next word, next word.
All right. At first light, you and your fellow passengers have witnessed a beautiful sunrise. An inventory of personal belongings turned up some money, 2 packs of cigarettes, a lighter, and 3 sets of keys. In addition, 16 items were scattered around the crash site. You survived the crash. Now your task is to survive the desert.
Very good. Thank you for doing that. Now I'll take over. Without discussing your answer, complete the section marked major problem. All right, so now here's what we do. We take the test again. Chad, if you could keep the team score on your book, and all of you could for that matter. I wish that you would keep the team score. So when you take this home tonight, you have your score and you have the team score.
Okay.
But work as a team. Listen to each other. Some people might have information like oil doesn't work, that is highly needed. Answer all the questions again.
So we gotta start over?
Yep. It won't take as long. We've done it once.
I
All right,
guess.
the 4 ones. What are the ones?
Well, what are the
So-
different? We gotta go to the other page, the first part.
Oh. Huh?
You get to.
Well,
pen?
what did, like, for the first one, whatever I picked?
I go ahead.
A, D, E, F.
I got A, B, D, H.
So the lowest score is going to be the smartest person in the room.
Oh, it's the smartest. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
C.
Lower score equals the right answer.
Really?
Yeah.
So the ones?
Golf.
One's help you.
2C, 3C. So it's 2.
Because I picked other things over it.
Yeah.
But I picked the
Okay.
number one bottom.
So look up here.
What was your total score?
128.
Look up here.
You and Ryan.
See my scorekeeper up here?
Yeah.
Jonathan, what'd you have as points?
234.
Chad's got
234. John Voris, what'd you have?
448.
What?
448.
448.
448. You're not as bad as Hayden.
Nope.
Ryan?
134.
134.
Jeez.
Smoked it. Chad?
128.
128. Good job.
Smoked it.
And Hayden?
540.
540?
Can you say that on the mic?
Good grief. So we divide that
Mr.
by
President?
5 people, right?
Yeah.
And so that gives us a team score.
The median is.
This is average individual score. The team score came down by a good bit. You can measure anything.
What's the
You
mode?
can measure anything. The percent of change is 65%. we made a 65% better decision as a team than we did individuals. Who's got the best score?
Chad.
No.
Was it 128?
Yeah.
28.
Yeah,
Got the best score. What's the number of individuals better than the team? Nobody.
Nobody too better.
I did 3,000 people. I did 3,000 people.
Never.
One guy. One guy.
Is it Bear Grylls?
Was better. He sat there. He thought the exercise was stupid. He lived on an island by himself, like a off the grid. He knew what to do. Nobody listened to him. All right, sat back like that. Just shut up. And they killed themselves. They walked in 2 days. That group. So I did this to 3,000 people. You always make a better decision as a group.
Yeah.
You will never make a worse decision as a group.
Right.
We'll refer back to this before the night's over, but etch this in your mind.
What about, so I'm thinking of groupthink, I'm thinking of echo chambers. I know that's not, that's taking us off course here.
So, we'll get to it, but
Yeah,
I
know
can
that's
answer. I
not-
can answer that. Let's make all my decisions myself. I'm just going to make them myself. I'm a smart guy. 9 out of 10 of my decisions, I will make the right one.
Sure.
When I make the wrong one, it could be deadly. So I get the group, and I make a bunch of decisions. 9 out of 10 of those decisions will probably make the right decision. When we make the wrong decision, it'll be a lot better decision than that wrong decision.
But isn't that
This wrong decision is a better decision than that wrong decision. It gets better.
But isn't it dependent upon who the people in the group are? Because if you're the guy that's smart and everyone's outvoting you and everything.
Out of 3,000, out of 3,200 people, one time that happened. And he disengaged because they weren't listening to him.
And you think that?
But as a whole, had they worked together as
Had
a
they
group
listened to him.
and listened to that guy,
Yeah.
if everybody's on
And-
the same page,
That night, they still did better. They still did better. I never had it where they didn't do better.
yeah, because
So they did better than their individual schools.
yeah,
Yes.
they at least didn't listen
Always.
to everyone
always.
else.
And you would say this would apply to pretty much any topic.
And that's how we started the night, is precept upon precept. You can go into the political world, you can go to this world or that world, and in the spiritual world. And the greater the number of the people in the decision, the better the decision will be. It's just it's a scientific fact. We're going to get into this a little bit, so etch this in your mind, because we're going to dig into this just a little bit more. Does anybody need a break?
So, but the understanding the problem and then having a strategy really helped you.
Oh, for sure.
Because I didn't, and that just made my score
yes.
multiply
Yeah.
by 4.
If you were just to, I wonder what it would look like. What was your just individual score
112.
minus the strategy thing?
Yeah, 112.
112.
That's what I'm saying. Mine went up by.
What was just the sum?
90.
90.
Well,
60.
and I liken.
So you had to multiply it by 5.
Yeah.
6.
Mine was
6.
67.
So yeah,
64.
So if we would have understood the problem and then had a good strategy based on that, that would have helped us the most.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to me
So-
getting individual.
As a group, did you walk or stay?
As a
Stay.
group, we stayed together.
Stay. Did you wait 4 days and leave, or did you just stay? Just stay.
And that was the number
Who
one.
got you to do that?
Well, as a whole,
Who convinced you to do that? You were in the conversation.
as a
who
whole,
turned
I
the
would have
tide?
stayed to begin with.
When you started talking, some of you weren't gonna stay. Who talked you guys into in that moment?
I'd
Who
say Ryan
inserted
Johnson.
themselves?
We definitely stayed.
So
I
you
think
say
most people. Who said that they
Everybody
wouldn't have
was
stayed?
staying.
Did any of? Did,
Well, I was the
Well,
one that
one.
said I was, yeah.
Okay, I had a 1 on that, so I guess I think we're all in
I
agreement.
mean, I
Everybody
had-
was pretty much staying.
I did have some.
everybody was staying.
Everybody
He
was
walked.
staying.
How did he get such a high score? Did you walk?
It was the strategy. I had a bad strategy.
You walked in 4 days.
Right. In
I
2
had
or 4.
one.
That's where it happened. Was they took off after 2 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Right.
But everybody was like, "We're staying."
Okay. So my point is, if you walked in 2 days, you walked in 2 days, and you walked. Period. You walked. So you killed everybody. You killed half of everybody. You have 4 days out there. They need to have you by the 2nd or 3rd day. By the end of the 4th day, people are dying. So your decision saved lives. I liken this under Christianity. The guy that did a really good job, that just sat there apathetically, that's what Christians do. Apathetic Christians, they have the answers and don't know. And we have to engage. We have to stand up. This is important. This Christianity thing we do is important. We cannot sit down in silence and let people die. It's probably one of the most important points of the night. We have to engage. I believe the greatest intimacy two people can share is a mature confrontation of adversity. We have to be, and I know sometimes you guys get tired of me being in this conversation. We have to be in this conversation. Lives depend on this. Some of them are our children. Some of them are my grandchildren and our children's children.
Well, let me interject really quick.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're getting tired of the conversation. I think what we're getting tired of is that it doesn't feel like a conversation.
Yes.
I think we're all open to conversation. I don't think that we're open to somebody trying to change the way that we're thinking about something. We're open to discussion.
Yes.
And so I think that we're all on the same page with that.
Yes.
For sure. So I just wanted to
I totally
interject
hear that and agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But a person who's engaged in a conversation is going to be trying to convince you.
Right.
They should.
Well,
if
that's
they
what
are
I'm saying.
not, they don't love you.
But
You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is if the guy trying to convince us is the one carrying the shotgun in the desert, he's going to kill us anyways. What I'm saying is, like, if the person is carrying the right thing or trying to convince me of the right thing, all right, we're on board. You see?
Yeah, but we don't always know the right thing.
What the? Exactly right.
That's
That's
the hard
exactly
part.
right.
That's the hard part.
Right.
One of the verses I camp out on is when I get on the music conversation.
Right.
Is,
That's what I'm saying. That's
is,
a 4.
Is
That literally is a 4.
well pleasing unto God. I think we need to do more well pleasing unto God, and we're not doing it.
Right.
How do I know
Look,
what that is?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
How can I
look,
verify?
if we
So we
take
have to
this-
fully engage.
If we take this, okay, this is so perfect.
Yes.
If we make this a Christian version,
Yeah,
and we make music one of these, and we make
Yes.
this all of these, music is a 4 for me.
Yeah.
But for you,
No.
Yes!
No. There is a right and wrong answer.
That's what I'm
There is
saying.
a good, better, best. There's the best answer, and we together need to hug each other
the only thing
until
that
we found
need
the
to-
best answer.
The only thing that we need to do is these 2 things.
No.
Yes,
We
this
have to
man.
embrace on everything. We have
Look.
the unity. How much unity is enough?
This is why. Everybody's individual scores right here
Yeah.
weren't too bad.
Yeah.
The problem lied these 2 things.
Yeah.
So in our Christian walk, if we have these 2 things correct, throw the rest of it out.
Is that good on video?
Because there's much more to doctrine than 2 things.
There is. But what I'm saying is the most important thing
The most important things.
are those first 2 questions.
But the most important things.
Who is God? What is he teaching?
What
Those are
does
the
he
most
say?
important things.
Yes.
And that's where we need to camp.
We need to always be on the most important things.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But there's more most important things in Christianity than just 2 things. There's a lot more.
I'm
All
just
right,
saying.
great conversation.
I'm just saying.
Great conversation.
In going through the exercise, paralleling it to what we're doing here, this was great.
Yeah.
So far.
Excellent. Excellent conversation.